management of the diversity of the state. He has been able to establish harmony between the three ethnic groups, the Igala, the Ibira, and the Okun people. The Okun people, for many that are in the southwest and are Yoruba, are pretty much Yoruba people who are found in Kogi State. You find all these ethnicities represented, well represented in his cabinet and throughout his government. Thank you. So he has been able to carefully manage the diversity in his state, such that a state that was highly polarized is today living, people coexisting in harmony. And he also signaled his respect for all the diversity within Nigeria by inviting people, appointees from all 6 geopolitical zones of the country to be in his government. So this is someone, is not, if he were elected president, we will not hear that Igala people or Kogi people are dominating the government. What you will hear is that people from all over Nigeria are well represented in the government. People will feel a sense of belonging, and that will be a game changer for us in Nigeria, because people will see that we're all in this together. We need to bring Nigerians together, and it will do that. In terms of progress through prosperity, there's so many things he has done. I want to speak particularly, I did my master's in China, and anyone that has been to China cannot but be awed and inspired by the remarkable infrastructure that China boasts and has. Kogi State, since 2016, has invested in 500 kilometers of road in Nigeria. I know this may not mean anything to you. It actually doesn't really mean very much to me. Here's what I know. The Nigerian federal government, under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, has invested in about 2,000 kilometers of infrastructure, roads and rail since they took office. And what that means is it actually represents the biggest investment of any federal government since 1999. What I'm saying is that what President Muhammadu Buhari has done in terms of hard infrastructure in this country is unprecedented. And what Governor Bello has done is 25% of what federal has done. So you make the numbers, the actual numbers may not mean much, but but the fact that if the federal investment is unprecedented and this one state can now command 25% of what federal has done, it should tell us that what this man is doing in Kogi is incredible. He's building roads into rural communities. Why? Because farmers need to be able to get their produce to markets. He's building roads into towns and villages so that to connect the whole state. And this will also help with security because it makes it easier for the local guards that he uses. He uses hunters, local hunters, and local vigilante groups to police the whole state. And so you can imagine that having good roads, a good road network, will be pivotal for them so that they can really deliver on their mandate. And then there are also many other things he's doing. 30% of the state budget is allocated to education. And in Nigeria, sometimes we allocate budget just to steal the money. And the only way you know that the money is actually getting to people in Kogi State is from the outcomes. So what are the outcomes in terms of education? Kogi State is the only state where the students in university are in school at this time. The professors are not on strike because Kogi State has ensured that all what is due to professors, teachers, and to the university administration is paid in full. They have no debt to the university system in their state. Also, they also have the lowest rate of under 5 mortality in Nigeria, in one of the lowest rates of under 5 mortality in Nigeria. But they also, in terms of education, the numbers of out of school children is the third lowest in North Central Zone. The only states that have less children out of school than Kogi are Abuja. I think Abuja, Yemi, what's the second one? I'll find out the second. I have it in my list. But it's just Abuja and one other state, I think possibly Niger State. Then after that, it's Kogi State, which shows that this is a state that is really investing in the children getting to school. They've been doing a lot to also pay teachers, to pay salaries in general. So at state level, in spite of many things that people say about Kogi State, the government has not owed salaries since 2018 at state level. At local government level, there are some issues because local government allocation from the federation account goes directly to the local government. But unfortunately, even what comes directly from the federation account is not able to cover salaries. So the state also makes a contribution to local government funds, and the funds that the local government has from state and federal is then distributed across the workers in that state based on an agreement from labor and from the local government councils. Now there's harmony there, even though the local government workers are not getting 100% of their salary, because they understand that if they want to get 100% of their salaries, it will not be possible without retrenchment of workers. And the Kogi people have decided that they do not want retrenchment. So what this lack of 100% salary payment is a compromise within the system in the local government level to make sure that people are not out of work. I want to remind all of us that there is one state in Nigeria that has been able to fire 21,000 workers at the local government level, and it's also one of the states that has the highest rates of kidnapping today. So there's always a relationship between the lack of jobs and crime. And in Kogi State, through the leadership of the governor of Yahaya Bello, they're trying to make sure that they balance carefully on the side of security, on the side of harmony. And I think that these kinds of examples and practical approaches is very much required at federal level, but not just at the federal level, but to serve as an example to the whole country, because security is not something that President Buhari can deliver on his own, or even if we have President Yahaya Bello in office in Abuja next year, he would not be able to deliver it on his own. He would need to work through the states. But we believe that the examples he has been able to demonstrate at state level would give him a lot of leverage to talk to the governors, to convince the governors to put in a good and strong architecture for security, to invest in education such that the students in universities are not out of school, and the children that are of primary school age, nursery, primary, and secondary school age, have access to quality education, and to also ensure that we can have prosperity through the state, through the creation of jobs. And here's where I wanted to end on the creation of jobs. Only 19 states in Nigeria have been able to create jobs according to the National Bureau of Statistics, and Kogi State happens to be one of them. So this is a state that is being able to grow its economy, but not the kind of growth that we generally see in Nigeria, where you read about it in the newspapers that the country is growing, but when you look all around you, people are suffering. This is a state that is actually looking for progress by improving the lives of common people. So many have asked, and many are incredibly alarmed that I'm standing before you, a Yoruba girl, a Yoruba woman, representing a candidate from North Central, at a time when some Yoruba believe that it is their turn to be in office. And I want to close by responding to this. I lost both my parents to the June 12 struggle. And it was very painful. It's painful still. They died in 96 and 98. But it remains painful even today. And yet, one of my favorite subjects in university and in high school was history. And I studied the history of African Americans, how they came out of slavery, how they built the civil rights movement. And any of the benefits that they enjoy today in the United States of America, including the fact that the Vice President of the United States is an African American woman, they had to fight to get those benefits and those privileges. And from all those lessons of history, we learned something that Frederick Douglass, a slave, once said. He said, "There is no progress without a demand. There has never been and there never will be. We must make a demand for progress in Nigeria." And I don't believe that I lost both my parents because they were fighting for Yoruba to be president. I lost them because they were fighting because MKO believed, and Nigerians supported him in his belief, that he was the best man to be president of Nigeria in the and based on the results of the 1993 election. For me, the most important thing we can do for Nigeria is to make sure we put the very best person in the position of president of our country. I believe, based on everything I've learned about this candidate, and I've been working with him closely now for several months, that this person is the person with the temperament, with the courage, with the intelligence, and with the record to really deliver. What I would hate to see is that we put somebody there and then we all gather in this room in 1 year's time. At that point, the person, or even let's make it 18 months' time, by which time the person would have been in office maybe around 6 months. And I'm giving you excuses and explanations why somebody is failing. I'm tired of failure. Because when I think of the Nigerian people, I don't think of failure. I think of potential. I think of brilliance. I agree with President Mandela that Africa will not rise without this one country's rise. And it is my sincere belief that Governor Yahaya Bello is the candidate that will ensure the rise of Africa's big promise. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director General.